Oh my gosh, did you guys hear Taylor Swift is supposed to be at tomorrow's Super Bowl? I can't wait. I can't believe I haven't heard anything about that all week long, and I haven't heard it on the news or anything. I just heard just about an hour or so ago. I'm so pumped. I guess she's dating Travis Kelsey or somebody. I don't know, but she's supposed to be a big, huge Chiefs fan or something. Man, I hope they show her a lot on TV tomorrow because I'm a huge Swiftie and I just can't get enough of her and on TV. I mean, I just can't wait. I hope they show her on TV like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and maybe they can talk about it forever. Because the one thing the world needs, is more Taylor Swift news. That is for sure. So hey, welcome back to the channel. So I got back from vacation, Disney World, just a few days ago. So I kind of wanted to go over what I took on vacation, how it all worked together, if I'd change anything. So the first thing that I took with it is this Wonder backpack. I've gone on this backpack I've done at least two videos about it. So I'm not going to go over it a whole lot other than I'm starting to come around to the roll top design because in Florida, you never know what the weather is going to be like, especially in February, late January into February. Like it was hot, it was cold, it was a little bit drizzly. I pretty much always had this thing, a sweatshirt or a rain jacket or something stuffed in the top of this bag. And I'm glad that I had this roll top because it made it easy to do. So just to give you a little bit of background, what I was there primarily to do was to take video of the dance performances, take candid photos of the dance team whenever I could and as many as I could, and then general photography and video while I was inside the parks. That was my overall objective as far as my camera gear that I took with me. So I try to take a pretty versatile kit that would work in any situation. And I think I got pretty close to that this go around. So what I took with me this time is the A7CR. This camera is great. There's a lot of great features, but the one thing that really came in handy on this trip is still getting good resolution when you're going from full frame mode into crop mode, because I found that really helpful on this trip. And that's one of the main things I really do like about this camera. Everything else is great. The video's great. The photos are great. The autofocus is great. Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is good. It's just that one particular thing, the crop mode and still getting decent resolution, really helped me out on this trip. Right before I left, I picked up the 16-28 Sigma. And the reason I got that is because when you're going into video, these performances, you never know where you're going to be able to sit. It's just open seating. In one particular instance, I was sitting like dead front center, like 2 rows back. I mean, like right there, almost too close. And in those instances, you want the widest lens you can possibly get. One performance, they set us way in the back, and that's when I needed the 70 millimeter of the second lens I took, which was the 20 to 70 millimeter f4 Sony lens. 20 to 70 is a great focal range. The only problem I have with this is when it gets dark. I had a little bit of trouble because when every performance but one, when the girls came outside, it was like pitch black, and I didn't take that in consideration. So this might not be the lens that you want to take for that. I know you can run all the photos and everything through Lightroom and denoise everything and so on and so forth. I'm not doing any of that. So I'm pretty much just shooting JPEGs on this deal. And the noise level can get pretty high on this because even at f4, you want to keep a pretty high shutter speed because they're moving around a little bit and stuff, and you want to be able to freeze that action. You on f4, high shutter speed, the only thing left to go is raise the ISO. So maybe not the best lens for low light performance. But when I was just walking around the parks in broad daylight, this was the absolute best lens I could hope for. I didn't have to change lenses. It took all the video. It took all the photos that I could ever want in broad daylight. It's almost perfect for that. The third lens that I took was the 40 millimeter f2.5 from Sony. As much as I just want to be a prime guy, like I really want to be a prime guy, I'm just a zoom guy, and I had to force myself, like literally at one point during the my vacation, I just put all my other lenses up, put this lens on so I wouldn't be tempted to shoot with anything else. And the photos I got out of this, I was quite surprised with. I mean, they were excellent photos. And then I use this lens a lot when the girls, like I was saying, they come out of their performances and it's pitch black. Well, the f4 wouldn't have been a good choice for that. I didn't feel like. And the 16 to 28 didn't give me enough reach. So the 42.5 served pretty good in that role because I could get, you know, with the crop mode, I got a 40 and a 60 millimeter 2.5. And I thought it did pretty good. Now with me, I took a video light, like the little bitty Ulanzi video light, and a flash, this Godox Lux Junior flash. And I could have used these when it was pitch black outside and I was trying to get those candid photos. But can you really get candid photos when you're like blinding people with a flash or have this huge light, you know, like shining on everybody while you're trying to get photos? You really can't. You really need to depend on your aperture of your lens and the available light. You go putting a flash, if it's dark outside, you go putting a flash on your camera and start firing it off. It just blinds everybody. It's particularly this flash here because it's just direct. You can't point it up and bounce anything off of it. It is just direct flash, and this thing always comes out hot. I'm just not a big fan of this flash, but I took it, never used it because you just can't be discreet with this thing. And the same thing goes with this. This probably would have been perfect if I'd have put it on top of my camera. It probably would have added just enough light to get some really good photos. But again, I just didn't feel like I could be discreet with these two things attached to my camera and using them. I took ND filters, never used them. I took mist filter, I took it off. I think mist filters, they wind up just messing up more photos and videos than they add to, I think. I generally don't like to use those, but I took them and then I took them directly off. Took a microphone, never used the microphone. Probably could have used it for some of the performances, but I took it last year too, never used it. But hey, you just never know, right? A couple of other things I took a tripod, this little Manfrotto tripod. In Disney, you can't use anything that telescopes like this. Like this would be the tripod that I would normally take, but since you can't use any kind of telescoping tripod, I went ahead and used this Manfrotto one. This one is sweet, okay? This is the one, it's a Joby tripod. I mean, literally I was walking by at Best Buy and saw this. I was like, oh man, that is sweet. And picked it up, and I did use this one a lot with my Pocket 3 and my 360 camera. It's so small. I had the quick connect on top so I can just, you know, really fast switch out the camera, take it on and off. That was awesome. And the cool thing about this little tripod, it has a carabiner on the side. If you can see that, carabiner on the side. And you can just clip it to whatever you want. And like that, you never have to put it away. I found that really helpful because, you know, once you put something away in a bag, the chances of you getting it out again are pretty slim. So this one I always had access to. Now it's definitely not big enough for any kind of a major camera, but for that Pocket 3 and the Insta360, it came in really handy. Another camera I took the Ricoh GR3. This camera for me it just turns off all this gear talk. All the gear worries, like if this isn't focused and what's the exposure like, blah, 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 all that stuff, it just takes it away. It takes all those thoughts away, and you just kind of just take pictures. There's just no stress with this one. And that's what I like about it. But the real star of the show, to be honest with you, as far as going to the park, is this Osmo Pocket 3. The Osmo Pocket 3, if you're wanting to shoot video on the go, like for instance, I like to just kind of walk around and, you know, shoot what's going on, you know, take videos of this and put it up and, whoa, there's something cool, then take it out, take another video, you know, just not really doing anything, just walking around and taking video. I think it's been settled. I think it's settled by now that this is the absolute camera to go for. Like if you walk around with something like this, yes, it'll get the job done, but it's gonna be shaky. Even with the active stabilization on, even if you use a Sony lens, if you want good stable video, and this is what you go for, the Osmo Pocket 3. At one point, we were just sitting down there. I was waiting on my daughters and wife. They were off doing something. I just sat down there with my Pocket 3 and just started playing around with it. I took a time lapse. It turned out awesome. I started taking slow motion videos of people walking by, like at 240 frames per second. Those are awesome. You could do the hyperlapse when you're just like, walking through the crowd, and take a time lapse if you're walking around. This camera is just so much fun. And also another thing about this Pocket 3 is people say the photos aren't very good on it, but I have to disagree with that. You're not gonna get a lot of compression and a lot of blurry background and all this and that, but just for a general photo taker, it does a pretty good job. Now the 360 camera, it is the worst quality video out of everything that I took. It's especially when you have a shot with the sun in it, it just looks terrible. It just looks terrible. The footage isn't that great. It gives you a shot that no other camera can give you. I'll show that to you now. Like I was on a roller coaster. I was in the front seat. My daughter and wife were in the back seat. I held the camera up like this. Got a shot of the front, got a shot of the back, so you can see the roller coaster, where it's going and everything. And my daughter's in the back screaming and yelling, and I thought that was just an awesome shot. And no action camera other than the 360 camera is going to give you that shot. If I was to go back tomorrow, would I change anything? That would be the question. Would I change anything in this setup? You can always second guess yourself, and you can always try to, perfect the perfect travel kit. But in the end, you just need the most versatile kit that you can possibly take with you, pretty much. And you want it to be fairly light, because you're going to be walking, at least 8 to 12 miles a day. Would I change anything? I don't know. I don't know that I would, to be honest with you. One thing I could possibly change is going, maybe instead of a 40 f2.5, going for like a 35 1.8 to get just a little bit better low light performance. Or you can say, well, I'm just going to replace both of these lenses, the 20 to 70 f4 and this 40, with something like a Tamron 20 to 75. That might be an option too, because this lens right here is not weighing as much as these two lenses combined. So you'd only have two lens thing, and you'd have from 28 all the way out to 95 or so. In the end, would I change anything? Probably not. Probably not. I enjoyed this 3-lens setup. It worked out pretty good for me. I was happy with it. It covered most of my bases. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I always try to learn just a little bit when I go on vacation, just to help perfect my kit going forward. Whenever I go on vacation again, maybe I'll change a little bit, maybe a little bit I won't. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. What are you planning on taking on vacation next time you go? If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you hit a like, subscribe if you want to. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.